Hi, I'm Michael Clark from DyslexiaImprovements.com, and today I'd like to have a chat with you about the biggest questions that parents raised when they entered the competition. So the competition asked, the one question was, what do you most want to learn so that you can help your own child at home to do well despite having dyslexia? Now, what really came through in all the entries was the worry and the fear and the doubt that parents have. Basically, because a lot of parents don't feel equipped to help their own child, they then worry, oh no, what's the future look like? And they're imagining a very bleak future, and it doesn't need to be like that, not at all. So basically, my encouragement to you would be, learn what you have to do so that you can know exactly how to help your own child, and then you won't have to feel that worry, doubt, lack of self-belief, lack of optimism for your child. Now, I'm addressing the concerns people raised and that they asked us as part of the competition. The first concern that parents had, the overwhelmingly biggest issue for parents, is what do I do to support my child's self-esteem? Because there are a lot of parents who are worried for their child, not just for their skills, but they're watching their child sort of feel down on themselves. They're watching as their child looks around the classroom and says, other people can do things, I can't, there's something wrong with me, I'm broken, I give up. That's sort of what they're watching, and it doesn't need to be like that, because what you need to do is you need to work out exactly what is broken, what is stopping your child from being able to read well, being able to write well, and then put some things in place so your child can gain those skills. And you can do that. I know you can do that. Another issue that I'm seeing come out is the frustration parents have that schools aren't acting. Well, to be real with you, I was a teacher for a long time before I understood anything about dyslexia and before I understood anything about scotopic sensitivity, that thing that often parents call dyslexia, or they call it Erlen. Really, it's a separate thing, but it masquerades as dyslexia. So if your child is struggling at school, it's not the school's job to fix it. It's your job to go to the school and say, here's what my child needs. How can you deliver that? You know, and when you give the teacher some steps that they can do in class that will make your child's life easier, most teachers are more than willing to do that. And most teachers really want to see your child flourish, and they just need you to give them the information so that they can help. Another concern that came out were parents of older children who are saying, look, my child struggles through assignments. They can't spell, they can't get their thoughts on paper. It's just hard work. And for you guys, I would highly recommend you jump on eBay, buy Dragon software. And now Dragon software is basically you wear a headset, you talk, the words come up on the screen in front of you. And I can endorse it 100% because I've been using Dragon software for the last 2 years. It's how I get so many emails out in one day. It's amazing, and your kids can do better if they can just talk out their thoughts using Dragon software, and then they can afterwards go through and edit their thoughts once they're on paper. It takes a while to train it. It costs about $100, but it's worth doing. And then the biggest thing that I'm seeing is parents who don't actually know what their child's dealing with. Now, if you don't know what your child's dealing with, you can't help. So basically, a lot of parents are saying, my child has dyslexia, and I emailed a couple of them back and said, okay, so what sort of dyslexia is your child dealing with? And they're saying, I don't know. So let me show you a way of checking that. This is not a proper test. This is an indicator that might tell you need to look further into this. If you get a page of white paper with lots of lines of text on it, put a dot in the middle of the page, have your child stare at the page for 10-15 seconds and say to your child, what are the words doing on the page? If your child says, they're not doing anything, Mum, what's wrong with you? Then that's great. That's telling you your child does not have scotopic sensitivity, also known as Erlen syndrome, whatever you want to call it. Your child does not have the words moving on the page or blurring out or disappearing, okay? Sort of fading away or shaking, nothing like that. So that means your child is not dealing with scotopic sensitivity. So that means that your child is either dealing with phonological dyslexia or they're just a bit behind. Now, phonological dyslexia is when the words are not moving on the page at all. There's no eyesight issue at all. There's no issue between the eyesight and the brain. The issue for phonological dyslexia is when the child looks at the words and the words really should be going into the child's eyes, into the brain, so they should be recognised as particular words, and they're just not. It's sort of broken back there. They're slow to be able to see the different sounds in the words, and that's called phonological dyslexia, and that is something you need to deal with very differently from scotopic sensitivity, or what a lot of parents are calling Erlen syndrome. So it's really important, parents, that you know what your child is dealing with, because if you don't know what your child is dealing with, you can't put things in place, and you can't accurately tell the school what your child's dealing with so that they can put things into place. The other thing I'd like to thank you for that came out of this competition was the number of people who are actually in countries that are not Western, who are sort of looking to this for advice. And for you guys, I've put in place a thing where if you can send me an email telling me how much you earn in 3.5 hours, I will make an invoice for you and I'll send it to you, and you can pay just that much to do the course. Because for someone who's, say, in India or Bangladesh or, I'm trying to think, the Philippines, there's lots of different countries where people are communicating with us from, and you guys can't afford it. I get it. It's fine. Just tell me how much you earn in 3.5 hours and I'll give you the course. So big thanks to everyone who sent their entry in. I hope that this video helps you. I'm Michael from DyslexiaImprovements.com, and I hope to hear from you all again soon. Amelia, I'm nearly done. Just be a little bit patient. What do you want to tell the people out there? What do you want to tell them?
I am Michael's daughter from Dyslexia.
Good work. Thank you.